feeling a little stuck, maybe a little blah? Well, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to glow up both physically and mentally, so that you can finally live the life that it feels like you've been chasing forever. And I promise to deliver actionable steps that you can take. Hi and welcome. I'm Amanda, a busy full-time working mom, and I help women just like you become aligned with your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. Really quickly, below you can find a link to sign up for my free weekly newsletter where I send actionable and helpful tips about becoming aligned in your feminine energy and anything really to make your life easier and more enjoyable. So you and I both know that in order for a glow up to actually have an impact on your life and to actually come true, it needs to start with the mental game. We both know that we need the mental game in check in order to see the outward glow up that we actually want. So we do have to talk about that, but I also know that you came here to this video because you want real, practical, actionable tips. So I promise I'm going to give you those too. And even the mental game advice, it's not just believe in yourself. We need more than that. Okay, it's time for me to dig in and give you everything that you need in order to actually make it happen. Okay, above all else, if you are a woman watching this video, which I presume that you are, the most important thing that you need to do is to become aligned with your feminine energy. Regardless of your glow up goals, this is crucial because if you're not in alignment with yourself and your energy, really nothing else matters. Nothing's going to stick. Nothing's going to translate. You're not going to have a glow up from a place of unalignment. It's just not possible. But the good news is that all the things that I presume you want to glow up, whether it be your appearance, your mental stability, become more healthy, have more emotional intelligence, have better relationships, how to be more disciplined, all those things, all those end goals become so much more easier to accomplish when you are pursuing them from a place of feminine energy. Stick with me. By the end of this video, it will make perfect sense, and I promise you'll be on board. And every tip that I'm about to share in this video, every how-to, every anything, it all stems from a place of having feminine energy alignment at its core. And if you're hearing this and you're like, I don't even know what the heck feminine energy is, I don't know what that means. Well, I'm not going to go into this video because there's a lot that goes into it, and that's not what you came to this video for. I promise you need to know the information. So I have so many videos on my channel that go into feminine energy because it's what I'm all about. So I'm not going to waste your time here in this video, but just know that healing your wounded feminine energy is key to a glow up regardless of what end goal is tied to that glow up. If you want to improve in any way in your life and you're a woman, you must heal your wounded feminine energy. So learn how to do that first and foremost. Okay, now let's get into the tips that you actually came here looking for. And I'm not going to spend too much time here because we're starting with the physical glow up, and these probably aren't tips that you really need a lot of explanation on. But first and foremost, it all starts with your foundation, your skin. So if you don't already, you must establish an effective morning and evening skincare routine. And effective does not mean elaborate. It means figuring out what works for your skin to keep it blemish-free, plump, hydrated, and if you have any specific things that you want to target, like fine lines or acne, that you figure out how to target that stuff. Because you can't put lipstick on a pig, okay? All that to say, makeup also does wonders if you do have imperfections that you want to cover up. Just this morning, my husband saw me doing my makeup and he's like, why do you have to put that stuff under your eyes just to cover your skin? They don't get it. They don't need to get it. We can catfish all day long. Eat the foods that actually nourish you and make you feel good. And I'm not saying that in order to have a glow up, you have to lose weight. That's not what I'm saying. Naturally, that is a part of a lot of people's glow up plan, just because globally, that's what a lot of us are after. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. Regardless of what your health goals may be, you're not going to glow up if you're eating crap. When you eat crap, it makes you look like crap. It makes you feel like crap. You can't glow up on crap. So fuel your body with nourishing foods that make you feel really good, and eat lots of vegetables so your skin glows. Similarly, incorporate exercises that you really enjoy doing. And bonus points if you're going to incorporate exercises that help you become more aligned with your feminine energy just due to the nature of them. So that would be things like yoga, Pilates, bar, dance. All those forms of exercises, when you do them and the actions that you're taking in your body, they help you become more aligned with your feminine energy. Another great one is anything outdoors in nature, going for a walk, a run, anything outside is going to help you become more aligned with your feminine energy. When it comes to things like hair, makeup, nails, outfit, whatever, what I like to say is to determine your non-negotiables. So maybe you don't necessarily need to style your hair every day, but you need to wash it and keep it clean. Maybe you don't feel the need to do a full glam face and makeup every single day, but you do have a 3-minute routine that takes you hardly no time at all, but when you do it, you just feel so much more confident and refreshed. Things like that. Determine your non-negotiables and try to never slip on them. For me, it's my nails and my 2-minute makeup routine. If that's all that I do every day, I feel good. I love to get more dolled up than that, but as long as I have my nails done and a little bit of makeup on my face with the few key things that really make my features stand out, then I feel great. Those are my non-negotiables. So figure out what those are for you and try to never slip on them. When it comes to clothing, figure out the styles and colors that really complement your skin tone and your body shape really well. So that doesn't mean that you have to dress fancy every day. It just means that you know what clothes, what colors, what shapes, styles, whatever make you look and feel really good. And if that's all that you have to grab from your closet every day, then you're going to feel and look good every single day. You don't have to look like you put in so much effort to look good. And if you have hobbies that are maybe a detriment to your glow up, things like doom scrolling or eating junk food, whatever they may be, switch them out for hobbies that actually enhance and support your glow up. Things like learning how to do at-home facials, or if you've always been interested in makeup but haven't really figured out how to do it in a way that you like, then spend time, make that a hobby, figuring out how to do your makeup, figure out how to do your nails at home if that's something that you think that you would enjoy doing. Rather than scrolling on your phone for the 30 minutes before you go to sleep every night, adopt a evening stretching yoga routine, something that's going to support the glow up. And of course, get enough rest. You can't glow up if you're exhausted. The next thing I want to talk about really probably should have been item number 1 or 2 because it's so key, and it's kind of like the umbrella that overarches everything that I'm talking about today. And that is adopting an identity shift. Now, I have a hard time talking about this pretty much whenever I bring it up because it's so simple that it's hard to explain. And I feel kind of dumb when I talk about it because it is so simple. But sometimes in life, the most simple solutions are the most effective. And this is one of those times. So shifting your identity simply means shifting how you see yourself and acting in a way that supports that new way in which you see yourself. It's about simply letting go of old habits and goals and switching them out for new ones that help support your values and goals. But let me be really clear, this is very different than just forcing yourself, applying brute force to adopt these new habits that you want to adapt. It's not quite that simple, because when you truly shift your identity, you are no longer relying on willpower, and that's what holds us back from accomplishing the things that we want to so often, right? We run out of willpower. We just don't have the will to do the things that we told ourselves we would do. And the reason why that is because you're trying to force will upon an old version of yourself. And I think I can paint this picture a little better with an example. So an identity shift would mean that you are no longer a binge eater. You're just not. If you're trying to lose weight, you're not doing it from the old identity of yourself as a binge eater who is using all their willpower, all their mind, all their determination, all their discipline to not eat the whole pint of ice cream. Instead, you truly have become the person and adopted the identity of someone who loves themselves so much to allow themselves to have a little treat, enjoy it, and then put the pint away in the freezer, because that's just not who you are anymore. You're not a binge eater. You are now someone who loves themselves so much to enjoy the little treat, but to not even have the desire to eat the rest of the pint. It becomes easy. It's easy to stick to the one serving or whatever, because that's just what you do. And the key about identity shifting is that you have to truly believe it. You have to truly believe that you are this person now. If you don't believe it, it won't work. And that's where I think it trips some people and even myself up, where it's so simple that it seems like it wouldn't work. But it does work, and it's so easy and so simple, but only if you truly believe it. So if it sounds silly, if you try to shift your identity, there's no trying to shift your identity. If you're trying, you haven't actually shifted your identity, because if your identity is shifted, then there's no trying, there's no forcing. It's just who you are now. And when you truly make that identity shift, you will be shocked at how easy it is to do the things that align with that new identity. All right, let's talk about the mental glow up now. And while I can't get into the details of all the things I'm going to mention, because I am not a therapist and this is not going to be an hour-and-a-half long video, I am going to scratch the surface and encourage you to do more research into how to adopt these things. The first being emotional regulation. Master emotional regulation, and it's like the cheat code to life. In order to mentally glow up, you need to prioritize the things that actually serve you and say goodbye to the things that don't. And you know what that means. I'm not going to dig into it really deep, because when you hear me say that, I know that already in your head, what came in right away is all the things that you know that you should do to glow up and to actually improve your life, and all the things that are kind of getting in the way of that you're currently doing that you need to say goodbye to. You need to learn how to have self-control and honor the commitments that you make to yourself, but also balancing that with the ability to listen to and act upon your intuition if it's telling you that something just isn't for you. A woman in her feminine energy does not force, she does not push things that she inherently, intuitively knows are not for her. You don't get a gold star for being disciplined and pushing through on something that isn't actually serving you. Another piece of mentally glowing up is learning how to regulate your nervous system. And like having emotional regulating your nervous system, they're not the exact same. They're closely related, but not quite the exact same. So they both deserve you digging into, because when you can master those two things, like I said about emotional regulation, regulating your nervous system and figuring out how to do that really is the cheat code to life. And of course, in order to mentally glow up, you must get enough rest, because you can't glow up if you're exhausted. And when it comes to glowing up or making any big changes or improvements in your life, something that you have to understand is that it must come from a place of self-love, because you can't hate yourself into a version that you love. You can't hate yourself so much and use that as the fuel for your glow up, because you will never arrive. You might get to a place, maybe glow up to you means that you lose 20 pounds. You might lose 20 pounds, but if you do it from a place of hating yourself, that 20 pounds will never be enough. You'll find something else that you don't like and want to change. And the thing is, you don't have to love every single part of yourself in order to love yourself. It's very healthy to have that self-awareness, to identify things within yourself and your life that aren't working for you and want to fix and work on those things. But you must love yourself enough in order to value yourself enough in order to have the drive and motivation to actually put in the work, the inner work, the physical work, all of the work into actually making those changes. You might be able to hate yourself into improvement for a short amount of time, but you can't actually have sustained improvement coming from that negative place. Now let's talk about discipline, and specifically as it relates to women. So the most important part about discipline is actually making that identity shift that we talked about, because we talked about how when you truly shift your identity, it's not about discipline anymore. It's about just acting in a way that's aligned with your identity that you have now shifted to. So that's the first thing that I want to say about discipline, but I know that you're also looking for some practical takeaways, so I'm going to give those to you now. First of all, cut out doom scrolling. I have a whole video, I don't know if it's up before or after this one, all about how to quit doom scrolling, because doom scrolling is ruining our lives, truly. All I will say here is just give it up. Just let it go. Just cut it out. Because when you do, it allows you to be more intentional with your time and have more focus for the things that actually serve you. But when we talk about discipline, we talk about actually doing the things that you want to do in order to glow up or whatever it may be. But it's so important that you do not give up the hobbies and the things that actually serve you and bring you joy and levity in your life. It's not about constantly pursuing the things to get you to your goals and to your glow up, whatever that may be. If you like playing your Nintendo, I don't know if anyone else plays, but I love playing Animal Crossing on my Nintendo. And so I still do that from time to time. I wouldn't say that that's helping me glow up in any way, but it serves me. It makes me happy. I enjoy it. I feel fulfilled when I leave like an hour session playing that game. Things like that. If you have hobbies that actually fulfill you and serve you and bring you joy, please do not give those up. That's not what we talk about when we talk about discipline. That's what masculine discipline looks like. Masculine energy says kind of forgoes all joy and pleasure in pursuit of the thing that they're pursuing. The feminine energy does not like that. So if you want to stay aligned with your feminine energy, you must continue pursuing those hobbies and passions. But do give up the things that you know are just a complete waste of your time and don't serve you whatsoever. And the last thing I want to say about discipline is that confidence comes from building up trust with yourself. Confidence comes from when you can rely on yourself to do the things that you set out to do. Okay, now it's time for your practical application homework. Step 1. If you're unclear on how to heal your wounded feminine energy, you must educate yourself on that and take the steps in order to become aligned. Good news, everything that I talked about in this video will help you become more aligned with your feminine energy, so it's not really about doing more. The most beautiful thing about feminine energy is that it's actually about doing less, but educate yourself all on feminine energy. I have so many videos on my channel that will help you do that. Step 2, make your physical glow up plan. Make a list of the habits that you want to adopt to help support your physical glow up plan and just start following through on them. Step 3, make your mental glow up plan. And this is less of a list and more about just getting more clarity and understanding about yourself. I recommend journaling, and if you can journal every day for 30 days on what mentally glowing up means to you and just letting the journaling guide your way along that process, that will, by the end of the 30 days, you will be more or less transformed. Step 4, seriously adopt a new identity. Not just forcing new things upon your current identity, but rather adopting a new identity where the things that you want to change are just natural. They become natural when they are natural to the new identity that you have adopted. Lastly, step 5, plan. This is where the discipline and building of self-confidence come into play. Keeping in mind that confidence is built when you prove to yourself that you can honor the commitments that you make to yourself. So part of the practice of planning and discipline, what comes into play here is being realistic and setting out realistic goals and a realistic plan. Because when you do that, then you build trust and you build confidence with yourself, and it just rolls into this positive snowball effect. Don't forget to sign up for my free newsletter below. There's nothing worse than a crappy newsletter, so I promise not to send you one. I will always deliver value. And up here is another video all about discipline specifically for women while honoring our feminine energy in the process, rather than from a place of force like all the masculine dude bros do. You can subscribe for more videos like this, and until next time, stay aligned.